Are the lines on the coins used somehow in the puzzle process?
That's a big one people want to know. Should they pay attention to those lines?
What do you guys think?
I think yes.
Yes, I think yes, but I need you to say it.
I mean, you guys
doesn't matter what we think.
I can't answer the question, but I mean, you guys.
That's a yes.
I said yes, and you said we're smart people, so
that's a yes.
Yeah, I mean, unless someone believes that it's just those lines are just aesthetically beautiful, and therefore I would go through all the trouble of making those lines specific. I mean, I don't know. You guys,
answered it for us.
Follow-up question. You directed Seth to put those on there. It's not like
I did, yes. No, I think he's confirmed that, right? Yeah. I told Seth specifically as far as the front of the coins. All the other design, I mean, if you notice the back of the coins, they're basically like the same version of the box. So it's like a variation of the box. So.
Okay. What did the thrill of the chase beyond the map's edge and there's treasure inside have in common? A treasure hunt creator wrote a book with clues and hints or puzzles to help a searcher locate their treasure. In hindsight, Forrest made his clues simple. He told Jack they consisted of the chapter titled In Love with Yellowstone, the picture of his father at 9 Mile Hole, and the chapter Flywater. The picture on page 44 opposite In Love with Yellowstone was a shout out to West Yellowstone in that chapter. Is it possible, or just a coincidence, that the latitude of his treasure chest location was 44 degrees north? Was page 44 a nudge to GPS latitude 44? Even Justin used Fenn Rock in his acknowledgments chapter, paying tribute to Forrest Fenn, quote, whose treasure chest started as my destination but became my launching point. This also could be a nudge to his starting point. So Fenn used pictures and chapter titles. Posey may have used a picture as a launching point and well-designed words. So what all did John use for the past and future box? We know we have to solve the word search. Based on the opening interview, can we assume the lines on the coin help? Is the word search a map to give us a starting location? Instead of a picture of Fenn Rock, John gave us a picture of a coin with lines. That, if overlaid on the word search, could be the beginning of a map. And instead of giving us a page number like 44, he embedded word numbers, giving us 39 north and 120 west. I know this idea has been out there since John launched his book. The reason I'm addressing it again is because some searchers question the coin lines. They are rotated slightly clockwise, are offset from the center up and to the left, and the lines are two different lengths. I recently discovered a picture of a Lake Tahoe area map in the National Forest Visitor Guide where the line dividing California and Nevada is rotated clockwise, similar to John's coin. I do not know why.
Clues that you guys keep talking about is, yeah. You know, there is a world where there's more than 5 clues, but like, what does that mean? That, you know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in that word search, so.
This is the beginning of my recent boots on the ground trip to the Lake Tahoe area. I wanted to visit Sugar Pine Point State Park to see the Hellman-Erman Estate and the rails that go from the boathouse into the water. Does this location help define our word search map? Before proceeding with my word search map, I want to make a public service announcement. As I was walking from the main road back the driveway into Sugar Pine State Park where my truck was parked, I wasn't paying attention to the forest surrounding me. I heard a loud hiss and noticed a smallish black bear climb a tree near me. I immediately looked for a mama and upon not seeing one, backed away a few feet to make the young bear comfortable. After realizing I posed no threat, he climbed down and continued his digging for grubs. I stood still, watching him until he sauntered away. The reason I'm talking about this is because it was my fault for not paying attention. The local residents tell me I needn't worry about black bears in the area because they are used to people and won't bother me. On the other hand, had that been a sow protecting a cub or two, I would have been in big trouble. Early in the book, John wrote the first step in treasure hunting is to formulate a map. So I continued my quest through Sugar Pine Point to see the rail track into the water at the Ermine Estate Boathouse. If the word search is a map of sorts, we needed to find the coin scale and find the north and south boundaries. I was hoping the estate and line in combination with rail and water would do so. I sat along the lakeshore, pondering the idea and the cryptic clues and other stuff in John's word search. Eventually, I said, "What the fuck do I know?" and continued my stroll to the mansion and the grounds before heading back to my truck and driving to the next place on my map, the historic State Line Fire Lookout at the north end of Lake Tahoe.
Establish priorities because there's trade-offs. Should I select a beautiful place? Should I select a meaningful place? Should I select a historically significant place? Should I find a place that fits the clues just the way I want them to fit and is also safe? What was your top priority for those 5 boxes?
I would say a mixture of when I could, areas that like had some sort of significant meaning to myself, and then the beauty once I was on the ground, you know, like and really making final decisions. Of course, you also have to make decisions about where people go and how they move in that area, and what's logistically possible. But you know, with none of that consideration, that was like things that meant something to me, and like kind of some sort of like overarching kind of like relationship between, you know, where the boxes are hidden. So, a great question though.
And thank you.
The first time I read John's book, when I got to the past and future chapter and saw the coin, I knew it had to be Lake Tahoe. My first location was based on chapter 1 and the 120 carat sapphire and the sentence, "A 120 carat sapphire crystal is much rarer still." I knew the state divide was at 120 degrees longitude. The word sapphire is in the word search, and the historic State Line Fire Lookout is at Crystal Bay. Over time, I gave this up for Van Sickle, but decided to revisit this trip and go see it in person. By now, the collective community working on the word search has greatly evolved. Lots of us believe in the Lake Tahoe area, but are divided where. The historic State Line Lookout checks a lot of boxes, so to speak, in the word search. Count 11 could mean column 11 or the 11th letter in the alphabet, both which are K. You have the words state and line on either side of column K, which represents longitude 120. Count 3 could direct us to count or use the other 2 Ks in the word search, K and VK. That runs diagonally parallel to the words state and divide. Is this another layer of the word search map directing us to walk from Nevada west across the state line, past the water tower to the lookout overlooking Crystal Bay? Sapphire is the bottom right. Sapphire is in the bottom right corner of the word search, orienting this particular map layer. Is this lookout John's answer to it's under, over, in between? Oh yeah, and don't forget word search, peaks, and rail. As I headed back to my condo in State Line, Nevada, I could see the storm coming, and this system circled around the Lake Tahoe area for the next 3 days. As predicted, the following morning I awoke to a light snow. I was really bummed out. But like the adage says, life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. Or in this case, the snow. So I got my ass out of bed, adjusted my attitude, and went in search of the historic markers around Cave Rock and Spooner Lake. The next morning was the same. Do you all know how much I hate driving in snow? Regardless, I decided to drive to Truckee, another Tahoe area JCB hotspot. I made a quick stop in Calneva to walk and take pictures, and then continued on to the Donner Memorial State Park. For all you adventurers and boots on the grounders, I highly recommend you visit the museum there, and if you have time, walk the interpretive trails. Their profound accounts of the survivors highlighting their tragic journey really hit home. From there, I drove up Donner Pass Road, walked out onto the famous Rainbow Bridge, and stopped to view the China Wall and tunnels along the scenic bypass. To some past and future searchers, this is their interpretation of it's under, over, in between. Oh, and one more thing. In recognition of this being the night 6 years ago that Jack emailed Forrest to claim he found the treasure chest, for the new folks who haven't seen this email exchange and Jack's pictures to Fenn, here you go. You can see from the bottom of the pictures they became part of the Fenn estate legal documents. And on the same note, a few weeks ago I traveled to Santa Fe to talk to an old friend. I even made a Facebook post about it. I got my last bit of closure I needed for the Forrest Fenn chase. Like the adage says, letting go gives us freedom.